What makes us slightly different is in our business, we became the trial and error. We became the test bed for all of our clients right now. So the model that we've inadvertently devised, we didn't set out to have this model. This model has been refined and refined and refined again due to the obstacles that we faced utilizing a virtual assistant.
So you made sure that it worked, that it gave you the things that you wanted long before you started making it available to others.
And every hurdle that we hit along the way, we came up then with a solution of how to overcome that. So yes, our clients right now are gaining the benefit, and we still refine. As we find obstacles, we still refine. Yeah, and it's one of the commitments we've made to ourselves. The model is not set in stone. Yeah, it is evolving. So even if our clients hit hurdles, we look at can a solution be found for that?
Yep.
And quite often it can. It's a little out of the box thinking, outside of the box thinking, but quite often it can. Excellent. So it is fundamental to get those key fears in place before you even start.
Yep, makes sense. Jules, what are some of the fundamental mistakes that, people seem to make, when they're looking at working with virtual assistants? Like from your experience, you've come across a lot, you've done a lot, you've tried a lot, you've had your wins and your challenges along the way as well. You've assisted a lot of clients. Where do you see that people really go wrong with virtual assistants?
The key one, I think, is number one, seeing a virtual assistant as a panacea, literally a panacea to everything. Yeah, virtual assistants don't fix everything. Okay, it all comes down to how well you can train. We call it onboarding. How well you can train and onboard the tasks that you want done to that virtual assistant. The majority of people and the majority of companies, including ourselves in the beginning, do not get into sufficient detail to explain to somebody else that isn't from your industry, that doesn't have your knowledge. And then frustration sets in when you feel that they are not carrying out the tasks that you've so easily put across to them. It may seem easy to you, it's not easy to someone else that's receiving that and then having to run with that task. So it all comes down to how you explain and how you onboard your tasks to a virtual assistant. And we've become very skilled at that. That is actually part of our model now.
So you capture the detail well in advance, long before somebody starts to do the work. And that's what you're saying. That's one of the key mistakes that people get wrong, not going deep enough into detail.
Yeah, the next one is, and I say this an awful lot to clients, is you will never ask a virtual assistant to do something that you cannot do yourself.
Yeah, because you need to overlook, right? You need to still,
that's right. Yeah. Other than graphic design, obviously, unless you're a graphic designer. But because you can go and find a virtual assistant with those skills. But if you're taking on a virtual assistant and you need them to work in your business your way, you need to show them what your way is.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people think, oh, that's easy, I can do that. Yeah. Now comes the second fundamental, which is the management of that process. So in effect, this is the art of delegation. Okay, if you get into the art of delegation and go look it up and read about the theory behind it, there's 3 parts to delegation. Number 1, explaining the task and the time. Number 2, ensuring that the person has the tools and the understanding to carry out the task. And thirdly, the bit that most people miss is what I call insurance. Checking in and ensuring that they are on time, completing the task, open communication between the 2 of you. Yep. Now, if you're doing that with a virtual assistant and you're doing that directly yourself, you've created yourself now another job. you're now managing another member of staff. That's not the aim of taking on a virtual assistant.
True.
You're taking on a virtual assistant because you want more time back, not to employ more time to manage that person now.
So the idea is to really have somebody else manage the VA on your behalf. That's what you're saying.
That's right. The management piece of the virtual assistant and the management piece of the client, the management piece of you is highly important.